Hello, good afternoon, Cheltenham Virtual Beer Festival goers. I hope you're all keeping well and that you and yours are safe and healthy. In these very strange times, this is a very strange tasting. I normally have the joy of seeing faces out in the audience, but this time I'm afraid we'll just have to do it over the internet. It's the way it goes. So, I'm here today to talk you through a tutored tasting of the Hillside 7 Surge. So I've got that in my hand here. Thank you very much, Lee, and all the folks for organising this. This is a really incredible effort, well done, and also it's for an incredibly worthy cause, which is the Samaritans, which unfortunately is probably needed now more than ever. So please, if you can, I know you probably have already donated, but if you've got a little bit more money in your pocket, which I know a lot of us don't at the moment, please could you dig just a little bit deeper. So that's that bit over and done with. Onto the beer. So Hillside was founded in 2014 and it's a company that's headed up by a young guy, Paul, who I'm lucky enough to consider a friend. We've done some brews together and he's a really passionate advocate for local beer. They do try to keep themselves as involved in the local community as possible, so they employ as many local people as possible and they work with different local businesses as well. So some of the spent grains, well, all the spent grains and hops go to local cattle. The cattle then take their milk to ice cream maker and then you get ice cream out the other side of that. So nice big round circle. So 7 Surge is the porter. So this is, oh, sorry, that's a big ding, isn't it? 5.4%, and porters were the beers of the 1700s, really the Industrial Revolution. It was a London style of beer, and it spread all over the country very much, but it was very much about the working people. So named after the street and market porters, sorry, river and market porters, I beg your pardon, not street porters, the river and market porters, and these guys were working super hard all day, all night pretty much. So these people really wanted something tasty but also nourishing and very much about refreshment. So these beers were probably fairly drinkable ABV, although they probably varied all over the place because things like hydrometers and the ability to test what your malts were in advance and what sort of sugars you'd get out of them wouldn't have been around at that time. That came later on. So this is also the genesis of stout. So stout came from porters, so it's stout porter. Stout not being like we think of now as maybe somebody short and a little bit wide. It actually meant strong. So stout porters, strong porters, and then eventually shortened to stouts. These days, however, although there are guidelines about what makes a porter and what makes a stout, I'll be honest with you, I'm really not that sure myself. You'd have to talk to beer historians like Ron Pattinson and Martin Cornell to get the real lowdown, but I'm not sure that many brewers make that much of a distinction these days. So, bet you're thirsty by now after all that history. So, here we go. Look at that lovely chocolatey colour as it goes into the glass. Absolutely beautiful. It's very nice. I like the foil on the bottle as well. It's a bit like my nails, nice and reflective. I didn't actually mean to coordinate. Happy days though. So, on the nose you get a lovely sort of berry note, almost brambly. There is some of that coffee there. There's a little bit of dark chocolate. That is a good beer. It's a nice beer. I've always had a soft spot for Hillside beers. I think they're very underrated. You're very lucky in your neck of the woods to be able to have them locally. So really do cherish them and enjoy them. The good thing about this beer is as complex as it is, and it has got a lot of that berry note coming through. It's got the chocolate, it's got the coffee, it's dry, it finishes quite short, it's quite snappy, and it is very refreshing. So would have ticked all the boxes at the end of a hard day's work, huh? So, more talking, less drinking. So, that for me, particularly with food, screams out for some food. I think it'd be really nice with some barbecue, some sweet barbecue. So if you're going to be knocking up something like some sweet barbecue ribs or something like that, that'd be really nice. The chard into play quite well, but not too much. It would help cut some of the fattiness. I think it would also be really lovely with some very, very creamy cheeses. Some of the rind wash cheeses, which have a bit more poke to them, maybe a slight ureic aspect. I think that would really help sort of balance out those notes on it. And I also think it would actually work quite well with a bit of fondue as well. Be nice, bit of a nice characteristic against that sweet, slightly boozy fondue, and you'd get a really good hit out that as well. I think also this would go quite nicely with some milk chocolate desserts. I wouldn't go for dark chocolate because it has got a lot of roast in it. So I'd err away from, again, those more bitter chocolate notes, and I'd err more towards the sweet things. I think it'd also be really quite nice with a raspberry mousse as well. So, once again, one last plea. If you have got any more spare pennies, please, please, please donate them to the local branch of the Samaritans. It's what we're all doing this for. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Stay safe, stay in an alert, constant cat-like state of readiness, I think we're supposed to be doing. But most importantly, take care of each other, love each other, be kind, and always lend an ear to people who need it. Take care, everybody. Cheers.